Why in the world am I doing this? My sister, Danielle, has been living in Vancouver for a few years and she's coming back to Ottawa, and she has a car. So she's looking for a buddy to just be a co-driver for driving all the way from Vancouver back to Ottawa. Me being the nice brother that I am, I offered to fly over to Vancouver to do the drive with her. Flying out in about 3 hours or so. So here we go. See you in Vancouver. So Danielle's actually been staying just outside of Vancouver on Bowen Island. So I had to make my way to Horseshoe Bay in order to take the ferry. I had just missed the 9 p.m. ferry, but luckily I was able to catch the last ferry of the day at 10. A 20-minute ferry ride later, and I got to reunite with filming. After spending the night in this nice little cabin at Xenia where Danielle has been working here, we plan to spend one full day just exploring Bowen Island before hitting the road the following day. If ever you have the chance to visit Bowen Island, I would highly recommend. And after a mandatory cold dip in the ocean, we were ready to hit the road the following day. On day one, our plan was to make it from Bowen Island all the way to Banff, which was just about a 9-hour drive. Say bye to Bowen. After Danielle had her emotional goodbye with Bowen Island, we were able to hit the road towards the Canadian Rockies. This is without a doubt the most stunning part of the drive across Canada, and you can clearly see why. I mean, just look at these views. After a quick lunch stop in Revelstoke, we made our way to Banff. Our plan throughout this trip is to camp every night, so our first one was spent here in Banff, and we also had some leftover foods from Xenia that we were able to reheat for dinner. Day one went well, and now it's time to get some sleep and get ready for day two. Our plan for day two was to basically just drive as far as we can and hopefully make it to Brandon, Manitoba, but knowing that we might end up wanting to stop a little bit before that.
How was last night?
Last night, go to bed, we're literally just like about to fall asleep and there's like flashes of light and like super loud thunder. Yeah, we just got smacked by a pretty gnarly thunderstorm and freaking out, kind of left our tents. We're chilling in the car, riding out the storm in the car for about like half an hour to an hour or so. Didn't get that much sleep.
Running on some Tim Hortons.
After getting not the best sleep on the first night, we were off to day two, and this is when the driving in the flat part of Canada began. I know that basically everyone that has driven through Canada mentions that this is the most boring and long part, but I guess I have a bit of a hot take and I actually didn't mind it that much. I found it nice to just be able to see far into the horizon and to just really chill and drive down these straight roads. I found it to be quite peaceful and even meditative.
You'd see that these are not bar grass, these are overlapping curves.
We had some weather coming in and out, and with some good podcasts, music, and good chats, the next thing you know, we had driven for almost 12 hours, and we were ready to camp for night number 2. We managed to make it to Broadview, Saskatchewan, and we found this nice campsite that looked straight out of the Windows wallpaper. We're at campsite number 2, pretty late now. It's about 10 p.m. We're at this nice little campsite. We're basically the only ones here. It's like an honor system where you just put $20 in an envelope. I'm tired. All right, day 2, done. Time for bed. After getting a slightly better sleep on night number 2, we were off on day 3 and making our way towards Ontario. After driving right through Manitoba, we made our way into Ontario, and it felt good to be in our home province, but there's still a very long way to go. After just over 10 hours of driving, we settled on a campsite in Uppsala, Ontario. What we somehow didn't notice was that this is the first image that comes up when you Google Maps Uppsala. I mean, what in the world is that? Apparently they have mosquitoes that eat people here. This just looks straight out of a horror movie. Honestly, probably wouldn't have camped here if I would have seen this beforehand, but here we are, and yeah, there were tons of mosquitoes. We were getting eaten alive, and we didn't even have bug spray. Luckily, Danielle had some sage to burn to try to stray them away a little bit. Nevertheless, the campsite was actually really nice, overlooking this lake with clear skies, and Danielle managed to take some pretty cool photos of the night sky. On day 4, we really wanted to cover some ground, and our plan was to make it from Uppsala all the way to Sudbury. It is over 12 hours of driving, but the drive doesn't feel nearly as long when you got beautiful views like this. This part of the drive was without a doubt the most underrated part. I highly recommend driving along the north side of Lake Superior if you are driving across Canada. We even stopped for a cold and refreshing dip in Lake Superior and for lunch, and this might honestly have been my favorite part of the entire road trip. A few more hours of driving later and we made it to Sudbury, and we decided to treat ourselves with a hotel instead of camping, since it was the last night of the road trip and it felt really good to get a good night's sleep. And only a seemingly short 5-hour drive later and we were back at our place in Ottawa. Thanks for watching, bye!